What's going on YouTube? So for the first time last year, the Corolla lineup spawned a crossover, which slots below the RAV4 in the Toyota lineup. But as gas prices continue to rise, Toyota is offering hybrid versions of almost all their vehicles. And for 2023, that includes this Corolla Cross. So what advantages does this new model offer? Let's go ahead and take a first look and see. All right, so let's go ahead and start off here with the exterior. So Toyota actually makes it very obvious that you've chosen a hybrid model because there's 3 exclusive new trim levels for the Corolla Cross just for the hybrid model. That's going to be S, SE, and XSE. What I'm standing next to right now is the fully loaded XSE. And as you can see, it does have a totally different front end design than the regular versions of the Corolla Cross. Basically, it trades out some of the more tough, rugged looks for a more aggressive and sporty design. So you have this updated fascia, which has this piece here that's body color, comes down. You've got the blacked out badging, and then you've got the aggressive and quite large lower grille here, all finished in a black mesh. And this is all going to be gloss black for this XSE, giving it that premium and sporty design. As we come over here to the headlights, just like the regular Corolla Cross, you do have standard LED headlights on all the models, but when you choose a top-end XSE like you see today, that's going to give you the premium LED arrangement. And furthermore, down below, we also have our LED fog lamps. As we head over here to our wheel options, with these new sport-grade hybrid models, you do have 17 and 18-inch wheel options. This is the 18-inch alloy option, of course, with this fully loaded XSE. Looks very nice with the contrast all throughout. And of course, we have this really cool green paint scheme. Now, I do want to draw attention to one of the elements beyond just the green, and that's the fact that you'll notice we have a 2-tone paint option. That is going to be new to the Corolla Cross, and it's exclusive to your SE and your XSE trim levels as an option. I definitely really like the way this looks. Again, really just adds to the sporty look of this XSE Corolla Cross. Now, in terms of your overall length, this of course is not going to be changing for the hybrid version. So you're still looking at about 5 inches shorter than the RAV4 if you're looking for a size comparison.
Now, Drew did not mention the overall length, so I do want to mention that about the Corolla Cross is 175.6 inches if you're looking for an overall length measure. Now, as far as the rear design for the Corolla Cross Hybrid, there's not going to really be a lot of differences here. This is your typical Corolla Cross design, which of course is a very good looking product. This just came out last year, so it's very fresh, has a very spunky and cool design to it. Now, as far as some unique elements, since we do have the sport models, the SE and the XSE, that's going to black out several of the elements. So you're going to have a blacked out spoiler up here at the top. You're also going to have blacked out Toyota badging right here, as well as your XSE and hybrid branding off here to the side. So that's kind of a unique touch that the hybrid has all those sporty elements to it. Now, our taillights are going to be the signature Corolla Cross taillights. They are partially LED. If they're the same as the regular Corolla, I'd have to fire them up to see, but they do look like they're mostly LED. If we drop down to the lower area, we do have a nice matte plastic for the bumper design with some shiny black plastic going through the middle of it, and you're not going to have exposed exhaust outlets as you would expect out of a Corolla Cross Hybrid. Now let's talk about your safety systems as well as the warranty information for the Corolla Cross. So it's going to come with the latest and greatest for both. So you're going to have Toyota Safety Sense 3.0, which is their most advanced system. So in addition to all the other ones that you've come to expect, like forward emergency braking, lane keeping assist, auto high beams, and adaptive cruise control, you're also going to have added motorcycle detection as well as a more advanced lane tracing system that's more natural. Now, as far as your warranty information, you're going to have the signature Toyota warranty, 3-year, 36,000-mile basic warranty, 5-year, 60,000-mile powertrain warranty, plus 2 years of complimentary maintenance. But with that said, let's go ahead and check out the interior of this Corolla Cross XSE Hybrid and see what's new in there.
All right, guys, so let's go ahead and hop inside of this Corolla Cross Hybrid and check out the interior. So Toyota made quite a bit of changes, as you have just saw, about the exterior, but they didn't really do too much to the interior for Hybrid Duty. Of course, this is a all-new model that just came out last year, so you're going to notice that latest design language from the Corolla lineup. In terms of what you have on board, you've got quite a number of different trim levels to choose from when it comes to the hybrid model. So you've got basically the full gamut of different material choices depending on which trim level you want to choose. Now I do want to talk about the seats. So you do have a fabric seat if you choose most of the trim levels, but if you choose the XLE or the XSE versions of the hybrid, that's going to get you this Softex leatherette seat. As you can see, it does have a very interesting design where this whole center part is basically finished in this kind of striped pattern that looks quite nice. And I will say, sitting in the seat feels pretty comfortable as well. Let's look around at some of our other materials inside the cabin. So across your upper dash, this is going to be a hard touch plastic as you'd expect for an affordable compact crossover. We also have a soft touch material that runs through here with a stitching detail, and you'll see some of those same details run over here on the door trims as well. You also have leatherette padding on the main part of the door trim, and all 4 of the windows are one touch auto up and down. And then as far as your center tunnel here, you do have a nice finishing in piano black. And I also failed to mention here on this upper end model, we do have the 8-way power adjusting seat with 2-way lumbar support. Now for this quick first look, we are indoors here, so I'm not going to be able to fire up the vehicle inside here to show off all the electronics and stuff, but I do want to still give you guys kind of a tour of what you can expect to see. One of those things is going to be your gauge cluster. So you can probably tell by the warning message up there that this is a mostly digital gauge cluster on your upper end trim levels. So you've got that 7-inch multi-function display in the middle, a few smaller analog gauges on the outside edges, which will be hybrid exclusive, giving you the extra information that you need when you're using a hybrid model. The lower end models are going to come with the smaller 4.2-inch display. As we pull back here to the steering wheel, of course, we've got that typical Toyota steering wheel, nicely leather wrapped here with the cross stitching and all the buttons nicely arranged in an easy manner. The wheel itself will be manual tilt and telescoping, as you can see. And we do also have paddle shifters on board, even for this hybrid model, I'm noticing. Now, I do want to take a look around at some of the storage, because one of the things that really impressed us about the regular version of the Corolla Cross is the fact that this is a small crossover, but it has kind of big crossover storage space, so that's really nice. First of all, we have our center console here. This is going to be not super large, but it is plenty of space for some of your most basic stuff. And then you've got a couple connections inside. Importantly, you've got 2 large cup holders right there in the front. And if we follow this tunnel up here, we have a very large storage space, which I think is very helpful if you have a cell phone, and you're going to nicely have the wireless phone charging pad on almost all of the trim levels. When it comes to the shifter area, it is pretty much the same as the standard gas-powered model, so you've still got that physical shifter here. We've got the electronic parking brake, brake hold, automatically engages. The only thing I'm noticing that's a little bit different is this button up here. You do have those additional EV settings for the drive modes, as well as locking it into an EV mode. Now as we rise on up, you do have your heated seats right there. And our climate controls are very similar to, the Corolla sedan as well as the gas-powered Corolla Cross. So you have the dual zone automatic on your higher end models. Lower end models will go down to a single zone or a manual setup. And then we have our display. So I think this is an important aspect I want to talk about with this Corolla Cross, because this is part of the series of vehicles that Toyota has launched or is rolling out the updated infotainment system. So you'll notice that this will switch to the newest version of their infotainment system, which is, so far in our experience, been a lot smoother, nicer graphic. And wrap up the front of the cabin. As you can see, we've got a frameless auto-dimming mirror right here. We also have a really cool LED light up here at the top. I do like the way this wraps around. It looks very premium. And then, of course, you've got the typical sized sunroof on board with the Corolla Cross.
Well, come on back here and join me in the rear seat of the Corolla Cross Hybrid. So we're looking at 32 inches of legroom, 39.1 inches of headroom, which is the same that you get on a normal Corolla Cross, which that's a good amount of space. I honestly think the 32 inches of legroom is a little bit deceptive because I still have probably 4 inches or so between my knees and the seat back adjusted to Drew's position. So there's a lot of space back here for a small crossover. Also, there is a lot of headroom. As far as the features, though, let's talk about that. Here in the center, we are going to have standard vents, which is a really nice touch I like to see thrown in. If we drop below that, you will notice that there's actually 2 charging USB Type-Cs down below that, so I'm pleasantly surprised to see that. And then we have the fold-down armrest with cup holders inside. Your door trim is also going to be pretty nicely made. You have hard touch upper, which is what you would expect, but we do have a soft touch leatherette on the armrest portion, plus a bottle holder. Now coming on up to our tailgate, I believe that might be a new feature for the XSEs, the power tailgate. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought all the gas models did not have a power tailgate last year, so that's a nice feature that we are seeing on this XSE hybrid Corolla Cross. Now, as far as the space is concerned back here, we don't have a measurement for the hybrid, so we're not exactly sure if it is impeded having that extra battery capacity. That said, just looking at it and just based on what I feel it has, I'd say it has the same amount of space as the regular gas model. So you're not going to have a huge capacity reduction if you ask me. You do still have the 60/40 split folding seats, and then up underneath of here you will notice that there's not any underfloor storage, so I'm imagining that might be the part that you're going to lose out a little bit of space on for the Corolla Cross Hybrid. All right, guys, so let's talk about that hybrid powertrain. Of course, that's a very important part for a Corolla Cross Hybrid is what's going to be under the hood and what type of fuel economy you're going to get. So we don't have a lot of specifics for this powertrain itself. All we know is this is their 5th generation hybrid system, and it's going to make 194 horsepower, all combined, which is good to get you 0 to 60 in approximately 8 seconds, as Toyota states. Now, we can also guess that it's probably going to be paired to an eCVT for your transmission option. And we also know that the hybrid is going to be all-wheel drive exclusive because you do have that electric motor in the rear powering those wheels. So you're going to have the extra capability of all-wheel drive plus the additional fuel economy of having a hybrid on every single model. Additionally, for your fuel economy, we do also have that figure. We're looking at 37 mpg combined for the Corolla Cross Hybrid. Now, you might also be curious about what the regular gas-powered Corolla Cross has. That has a 2-liter engine, 169 horsepower, so you're going to have more power by going for the hybrid. And for the fuel economy for the gas model, that's 30 miles a gallon combined for the all-wheel drive, so you're looking at a 7 mpg improvement for going for the hybrid model. Now, I also want to point out for the pricing information, we don't have that yet. Hopefully Toyota will release that in the upcoming weeks, but we hope that it's not going to be too much more expensive. And in typical Toyota fashion, normally the hybrids are only about $1,000 more expensive for an equivalent all-wheel drive trim level, so we're hoping that that may carry over for this Corolla Cross model. Well, guys, that's going to wrap up our quick walk-around video of the 2023 Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button down below. Also follow us on TikTok and Instagram, and we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.